Hi, brothers and sisters, and welcome to Lesson Gems. My name is Brother Lammers. With this week being the week of Thanksgiving, we wanted to make sure that you had at least 2 lessons to help you out if your school is holding seminary on Monday and Tuesday. So let's get right into it. The 2 lessons we'll be covering are the Doctrinal Mastery Pair, or the contextual lesson for 1Peter 3 and 4, and then the Doctrinal Mastery lesson. So let's get into this lesson. It's pretty fun because the work for the salvation of the dead is something that we've all maybe heard about, or we go to the temple, we've done baptisms, but to be able to explain it doctrinally and to help our students know why we have this doctrine and teaching is something that is so beneficial. But most importantly, we want them to be able to do it and to be able to say it in their own words. So let me show you how I'll use the curriculum lesson and encourage my students to put it into their own words by helping them practice it. Great introduction, the call-out boxes, I like it a lot, but here is my readiness. Here's the scenario that I'm going to set up with my students. I will organize them, if you are in a class of more than 4 students, I will organize them by having them stand up and they'll have them face each other, meaning it'll be one-on-one, and you're going to set up this pretend scenario that they meet a friend at a Burger King restaurant or a family restaurant, wherever it may be, movie theater, it does not matter the location. But we want them to imagine that they know someone, and that someone knows that they are a member of the church. And so they walk up, and you have 30 seconds to respond, and here's how you're going to set up the scenario. Start them off by asking a silly question, meaning I want you to ask them, talk to your partner right now and ask them what was their favorite food that they had this past weekend, or their favorite activity, to get them speaking. But now here's the scenario. Are you ready? Have them face each other. You only have 30 seconds to respond, and you are pretending that you are the friend that is not a member of the church, asking them for help. This friend comes up to them and says, well, you say that God loves all people. And we respond, yes. You also say that God commands that all of his children must be baptized or they cannot return back to him. And we respond, yes. So here's the question. What is the destiny of the countless billions who have lived and died with no knowledge of Jesus? 30 seconds, go. And let them try. Some may have a great response. Some may fumble. Some may just completely have a terrible response. And that's okay. Because we want them to understand that putting this doctrine into our own words is what we're going to be focusing on today. We're going to provide the knowledge, the doctrine, and help them practice and put it into their own words. So with this quote from Elder Christofferson, I'm not going to put that on the board quite yet. I don't want the quote. I just want the question. So we set up the scenario, we let them practice and do this twice. Have them switch sides with one not being a member of the church and then one answering for themselves. I know that it's not the most realistic thing, but we want them just to practice trying to voice doctrine that they may or may not know very much about. Now, with that scenario in place, they've had a chance to answer it. Let's build their confidence or their capacity to answer in their own words. How might you respond to someone who asks you this question? Have them take out their journals and get ready to add to their knowledge of how to answer this question, as we'll try to go back and do this scenario again. Now we go to the full quote from Elder Christofferson. We go in countless billions with the restoration. The spirit world, we go into read these verses, have them mark 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 6 specifically as a doctrinal mastery verse so that they know we're going to be coming back to that tomorrow as we practice the doctrine. Now, according 1 Peter chapter 4, verse number 6, why was the gospel preached to those who are dead? Let's read the verse, but if they answer by just saying, well, there was preached unto them so that they could be judged according to men in the flesh, have them stop. Put that into your own words. Why? Why was the gospel preached to those who are dead? 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 6. Again, practicing this theme, we want them to practice in their own words. Now let's set up this study to add to their capacity. More revelation was given about the spirit world. So set him up for Elder President Joseph F. Smith, and he was teaching in Doctrine and Covenants, section 138, the vision that he received after he had questions and was looking in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse number 6. Have them study these verses right here with the look for question. What did you learn? How can you understand? What evidence? They're going through these and they're going to build their capacity, and we want to help them to list in their own mind things that they could say if they had a redo to their scenario. So we study it. Take the time. This is the meat of the lesson. We want them to understand the doctrine, where the revelation came from, that we know what happens when people die, and especially to those who have not had a chance to be baptized. So they study the doctrine, and now let's give them a redo. Ask another 30-second silly question, but then get them into their scenario with what they've learned and help them remember they only have 30 seconds. We're not going to expound and try to teach them the first vision. No, it's just this doctrine, but in their own words. I like this. If you wanted to finish it with the rest of the lesson when they are talking about family search and getting into doing temple and family history work, that's wonderful. Just use the time that you have to help them understand the doctrine. In that scenario, I know I want to use that with my students because, one, I want them to talk to each other, but I know that if they put it into their own words, they'll be able to use their own words if they're presented with that scenario in their own lives. Brothers and sisters, you are amazing. I'm so excited for you to have these couple of days off for Thanksgiving, but let's teach the doctrine of the work of the dead before they get in there if you're having class on Monday and Tuesday. Keep doing it. You're amazing.